Hello and welcome to Advanced Media's special podcast series introducing the key themes of CINETomorrow, 2024's community event serving as an intersection of digital camera, virtual production and sustainability in media and entertainment. I am Razan Takash, filmmaker and head of film at SAE Dubai, and I am here today with Mostafa Salah, a seasoned senior editor boasting a decade of media expertise. With an impressive track record, Salah has spearheaded large projects and campaigns for esteemed clients such as Google, Level Shoes, Dior and Sony. Join us as we dive into Salah's wealth of experience discussing post-production and workflow. Salah,
Hello.
how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this.
We've gotten through the introduction, we've survived.
Yeah.
So, let's start with the basics, Mustafa. Tell us about workflow and post-production. Why is it so important in film?
I think if you don't have a proper workflow in post-production, you will never survive with your project. You will never achieve your deadline. You will never achieve your quality. You will never achieve your storyboarding. Post-production workflow is the most important thing to arrange your mindset and to arrange your project to achieve your product at the end. So without arranging or without making a proper workflow for post-production, you will never achieve your product value in the end. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, not just in terms of organization, also in terms of the overall quality, right? Because sometimes people think it's just, technically putting things together. But there's a lot that happens behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot is happening.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. Yes, exactly. This is the most common sentence in the world. We'll fix this in post. Most of the time, most of the people, they are thinking that editing is just you're taking in and out and you're just cleaning and that's it. But they don't know anything about the magic that is happening. Okay, let's start it from the beginning. From the beginning, any film, TVC, anything, any video, I'll call it any video, okay? It has three phases. Phase number one is pre-production. Phase number two is the production. Then the post-production. After shooting, what will happen? So when it comes to post-production is the most important phase or the most important step.
It's make it or break it.
Yes, exactly. This is where the magic is happening. So how you will handle all of this? It's starting with how you will do your offline edit, your online edit, your CGI, color grading, sound mixing, all of this stuff. It's very important to have a proper workflow, to have a proper schedule to meet your deadline and meet your final product. So this is what is the real secret of the post-production workflow, how you will manage to do all of this at the same time. So right now in this time, I think anyone or any filmmaker who's not having a proper workflow in the post-production and what he will do, he's really wasting a lot of time, and sometimes you're saying wasting a lot of money, because production value is equal always money. So yeah, that's it.
Do you feel like people sometimes when they finish production, there's a sense of, we're done. It's over. And then comes post. And it's
Shall I be so honest tomorrow?
Yes.
So honest.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'm always, sometimes I'm meeting this kind of clients, I'll say, because I'm calling them, they are just amateur clients.
Yeah.
Okay? Because they are thinking that the hardest part is just while we have a shooting. But then they find a lot of steps and workflows opposite to them, like there's an offline edit, then online edit, then we have to mix all of this. We have to go for color grading, and they think, oh my God, we didn't expect it was like this. They are thinking just a one-man show who can do everything. But
editor.
He's just an editor, it's not an editor at all. It's a proper and it's a specialized workflow. And sometimes you have clients that they are very well known or they know what they are doing exactly with the production value. So sometimes we are really meeting these people. Yeah, it happens.
What do you do when that happens? You have to take the job. What can an editor do in this situation?
Okay, editor is a package, okay? I'll talk about something that is really personal for me. Most of the people thinking that editor, he has to have just skills in and out, just in editing. But for me, I'm dealing with the editor, he's a package of attitude, package of presenting, package of creativity. So he's a second director, so he can take the project to another level. So definitely when he has a client that he doesn't know the workflow, he has to brief him. I'm always believer that when you are communicating with the client, he will understand. It's very easy to let him understand, like, no, listen, we have to make offline edit, then we have to have our approvals. We will submit for you the first draft, and this time, then you have to reply, then the second draft, then you have to reply with finals, then we have to go for the CGI, we have to go to our color grading, we have to go to for the sound mixing, then you have to have the master version from me. So I wanted to tell you that when I have a client that he doesn't know the workflow, with a very easily polite and smart way. Diplomatic, yeah, we can say it really diplomatic. You can just guide him. Okay, no, we have to do 1, 2, 3, and we have to take these steps. And once you're really organized and you have a proper plan, your client will feel that. So he will never be worried. He will say, okay, I think this guy or this company, it makes sense what he's saying, so okay, I will go with you. To be honest with you, I was facing this problem since 7 or 8 years ago in my experience, but right now it's disappeared for me. Khalas, my client is know already that, okay, this guy, he has a proper workflow, he has a proper schedule, he has, when we are going with the material with this guy, so it will never be a normal experience. We will have every single thing proper, scheduled, and everything in the post-production, we know what will happen exactly.
Yeah, it's a struggle because again, especially like people understand post-production is important, but they underestimate how important workflow is.
Yeah.
And sometimes they try to rush for
Exactly.
time and for money. So
Exactly.
I think it's a struggle for all editors.
I'm always giving an example in editing. I don't like to make things complicated. So I'm always saying that editing is like cooking. Like cooking?
I love cooking.
Really? You love
I
the
say
kitchen?
filmmaking is like cooking.
Yes. Oh, really?
Yeah,
This
always.
is very important. It's really like this. I wanted to make any special dish. So I have to prepare every single thing. I have to cook it, to cut my vegetables, to cut my blah, 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 my ingredients, blah, 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 spices, all of this stuff, and I have to put it. Then I have to put it in the oven, then I have to wait. This is exactly the post-production workflow.
Yeah.
I have a raw material, I have to take it, make a convert, make a sync, then starting my edit, taking the approve, like a tasting my cooking, exactly, like the same way. Okay, done, everything is done. Okay, guys, let's go ahead for our mastering. So I think post-production workflow is very, very, very important. And even for the client, he has to understand very well what the meaning of the time and what the meaning of every single step you have it in your timeline.
Yeah. It's phases. It's also important for creativity. I mean, for like if for directors, there's a lot of things when you spend enough time in the edit. I feel a lot of creative things happen, right?
Yeah, definitely. I want to tell you something. Editors always, or I will not say editors. I will say post-production. Post-production is always racing the time. Okay. If you have a proper time, you will have another eye, or you will have a very comfortable time to see your art, to see what is going on. I'm always saying this to my editors, to give yourself comments before your client is giving you a comment, or before the director is giving you the comment. You can understand. If you have a proper workflow, and if you have the greatest workflow, you will have a very good time to watch, to make your selection, to make your vision, to put your creative inputs. Because most of the time, the client, I'll talk about the client much more. He's have the feeling that editor cannot put input. Or edit.
Just assembling.
Yeah, just khalas. You have the storyboard, you have every single thing. So what shall I do? Like,
Yeah.
I have to sort everything. But he doesn't know that on paper, the storytelling is good. But by visuals, it still need something. This thing is calling the editing. So like 100% post-production workflow is helping in storytelling and creativity inputs. It's helping in, when I'm saying creativity, by the way, most of the people are thinking that creative or creativity is like transitions and effects.
No,
And for me, it's not.
it's a feeling.
It's a feeling. Thank you so much. It's really a feeling of the storytelling, how I will tell you this part of the story. Shall I do it upbeat, fast? Shall I make it CGI? Shall I put it in a flashback scene? What shall I do? This is a creative
Or
input.
cut it.
Or cut it,
There's always
exactly.
cut it.
Thank you so much. There's a solution that I think doesn't add anything or doesn't make anything, and making the movie is really boring. Let's cut it. Let's take it in another way. So definitely post-production workflow is always adding a value in creativity. Yeah.
It's true. And, you know, there's this concept of what we call the seeing inside, not seeing outside the frame. Because the director and the client and the producers, they'll always think about what they originally had in mind, what they were shooting or what they were trying to do. But then the editor is the only person, especially if they're not on set, they're the only ones who only see inside they don't know what's outside the frame. They don't bring that into the frame.
But I wanted to tell you something. For me and my school in post-production workflow, the editor has to be involved from the pre-production workflow.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
I'm always in my company, especially, when you have a brief or when you're doing things on the pre-production, please bring the editor with you, especially if it have, or is this project has CGI or VFX.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be. Like, it doesn't go like, okay, creative directors and directors, they are sitting in nowhere and they are just explaining for themselves. No, they have to have them in this process because there's a technical issues and no one will solve it till the editor. So for me, in my workflow and post-production workflow, I'm always have to have an editor in the pre-production and in the production, to be honest. But not all of the companies are working like this. And not all of the editors are working like this.
Especially when there's visual effects as well. Like,
But especially, even if an offline edit, by the way. Because, and I had this feedback from most of the directors that I worked with. Like, they are saying, once we have our editor beside us on the monitor, we can take a lot of decisions.
Yes. It's comforting.
Yeah, this is really the comfortable workflow. Like, I'll share with you an experience. Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan, he's always editing with Lee Smith, right? Okay, so especially in Inception, movie, Lee Smith was having a lot of magic touches in Inception to make the layers of the movie and the non-linear storytelling is going crazy and is really helping the storyboard. When you're seeing Inception movie, when you're watching Inception movie and you're just sitting like this, you can see the power of real post value it adds in the movie to take it to this extreme level. And for sure, I will never say this will happen with Inception only. It will happen with, or it happens with a lot of movies. But I'm saying special, or I'm talking about Inception especially because Inception was, for me, one of the hardest storytelling movie.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And it's full of CGI, full of VFX, full of coloring, full of every single thing. And there is a big editing value. It happened in this storytelling. So I'm sure 100% Lee Smith, the editor of the movie, I'm sure 100% he was involved in the pre-production with Christopher Nolan. From day one. And it happened a lot. If I will talk especially in our Egyptian movie or in the Arabic cinema, it happens a lot. I know a lot of editors, they always involve while the director has the paper in his hand, like, you know, okay, yeah, in this scene we have to do blah, 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 in this scene and in this scene. So for sure, it helps a lot with, it's taking the boss value to another level.
You know, this brings up a really interesting point. Somebody like Christopher Nolan and somebody like, and this integration of post, especially now where we have so much CGI, so much visual effects, we use them a lot. How do you as an editor or somebody in post-production, how do you ensure that the CGI or the special effects don't take over the story? How do you make it, you know, like be part of it visually without it overtaking, you know, or taking too much attention sometimes?
I wanted to tell you something.
I'm ready.
You're very smart to have this question. Okay. Do you know that this is a very big fight always between the VFX artist or the compositor? Not the compositor, the VFX artist and the director.
Yeah.
They always have this negotiation. Okay. I am believer of something, but it's matter of taste. Let's say that
It's subjective.
art,
Yeah.
it's matter of taste. Maybe, let's say that I have a scene. This scene, like a dinosaur, is it chasing a car? Okay, cool.
Classic.
This is very classic. Okay, and the perspective of the director, he wanted to make the hero is the dinosaur, so he wanted to make it very big, while the artist is seeing that if it's big, the perspective is wrong. There's something wrong. In my test, make it, I love to make any CGI or 3D, make it real as much as you can.
Invisible.
Make it really real. Like, I love movies, or I love watching the movies or ads or however it is. It has a CGI. I wanted to see the effects real as much as I can. Okay? And there is another directors, they love to have the 3D vibe.
Yeah.
So
That's neither.
Yeah. So I have the feeling in my storytelling way, if it has the 3D vibe, it's killing the story. But this is a test.
Yeah.
I can't say this is the correct thing. And there is another directors, no, they are saying that it's something that is really creative, is not real, is not happening. So I wanted to give it this touch of unreal.
Yeah.
You know? So
Fantasy.
Yeah,
fantasy element. Yeah.
So for your question about the story, the storytelling, how it really affects, I think I can't reply for this because it's matter of taste. But there is a lot of stories you can fix problems with CGI. Like let's say that there's a movie and you have a paper on this movie, and the movie is saying that the girl went to the bed and she slept, okay? And while she slept, she had a dream. She is in a deep ocean, and suddenly there is a sharking attack. This is the scene. Production value to go with this scene, you will pay a lot. You will pay a lot and a lot and a lot. So definitely, maybe they will think, okay, this scene, we have to make it in a pool, and we will make it in post-production. This pool, we will take it to another level with the CGI.
We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix in post, exactly. But yeah, in this case, I have to be involved in a storytelling. I'm saying I have to be involved in a storytelling. Like, don't go ahead extreme and then come with the footage and now
Here's
we
some
want to
green stuff.
Yeah, like
Make it happen.
Bring it happen. Like no. So let's say this is the scene. Okay, post-production can tell a massive story in this scene. It can do really magic. It can really add value, okay? But so this scene or this thing is really can help the production value or can help the storytelling. I will give you another example. Let's say that we have a shoot that the same girl went to sleep and she's dreaming, she's in a train, and this train with a green screen, and we wanted to put her, she's traveling in the space, in nowhere, okay? And the director make a camera shaking without taking a tracking point. So right now, the post will destroy the story.
Yeah.
The post-production will destroy the story. We will never help. It will never help. We have to change the idea. We have to find another solution because technically it's not tracking. There's no tracking point. So I cannot do anything. To find the tracking point, let's say that we made every single thing with the rotoscoping, blah, blah, blah. We tried all the things, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't work. If we made a CGI right now, I'm destroying the storyboard. Yeah. I'm destroying everything. So that's why I'm telling you it's a very tricky question, and it's a matter of taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and you have to work with people who have the same mindset and the same attitude towards
exactly,
and the same taste, really. Sometimes,
and you have to work with the people who's always respecting the post-production workflow.
Yeah.
They always knowing, like, there's a magic will happen here, so we have to be really careful. So yeah, that's it.
Nice,
Yeah.
interesting. This is all very cool. We're running out of time, but this is a lot of fun conversation. Where is the future going? I mean, if we look at where we were 10 years ago and where we are now, it's crazy. So where do you think it's going? How will the future affect workflow and processes for post?
Okay. It's a very hard question.
Other than AI taking over and us being slaves to robots.
To be honest and fair with you, I have the feeling when I'm comparing the future, I have the feeling that I'm very small thing to a huge thing, like really. Future is something that is really going very fast. Everything is going around very fast. Like, let's say the last year, and really I mean it,
Yeah.
the last year, AI, like, take a lot of things to extreme level.
Yeah.
Open sources, they entered
We
my
skipped some steps.
a lot of steps. Like, oh my God, I mean, there's no rotoscoping right now. So this is a huge workflow. Like in AI, you can do it like this. 3D, AI is really involving in 3D a lot. Okay, we made a big project with AI. This was the client requirement, like 3D AI. This really, and it was a massive project. Okay, so I think future. I will talk about my post-production workflow. We have two things or two expressions we are saying in post-production workflow. We have the repetitive work that is not adding any value, and we have the creative work. I think in the future, in the next 10 years, AI will replace the repetitive work. Like, I think syncing the material will be very easy. Converting the material will be very easy. Retouching, rotoscoping, you will find a lot of solutions around it. I think machines and softwares will really run through upgrades. I'm sure things that was very slow in tips and tricks, like let's say 3D, you need 40 days to build the scenes. I think in the next 10 years, I think it will take around 1 day of working, or maybe just an hours. So what I'm seeing, or what I'm seeing in the post-production, especially in the future, that everything will be much more faster than what we are living right now. But I cannot say that maybe there will be editor reboot.
Robot editor.
Like a robot, like he's cutting everything and he's doing
I
everything.
wonder, because like you look at things like Mid-Journey and things like that, like,
Crazy.
it's making something out of
It's crazy.
what appears to be nothing. It's not
Yeah.
out of nothing, but what appears to be something. I wonder, do you think we'll reach a point where we have AI software like do an actual edit and just like take raw footage and create an edit? Maybe?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But I will, and this is very important point. I would love to explain this. I'm believer that AI is really unbeliever. I believe that AI is involved in the cinema since a very long time. It's not a new thing. And to see or to do this, we were shooting on films. Then we developed it on cards. The cinema started with a silent. Then there is something is calling audio. In this phase or in this steps, each step, it's take it or take the workflow to extreme level. It make it very fast. There's a difference between taking the negative film and going to a studio and to try to find it and just copy it on card.
Yeah.
This is AI. This is artificial intelligence with another way. So I think right now it will never happen that we will lose the artist. We upgrading the tools. We make it things faster. We making everything that is taking too much time to make it very quick. But let's say that if I bring it an engineer and I bring it a graphic designer, and the both of them, they are sitting on Midjourney, okay? And they have the same codes. The result from the designer will be extremely different than the engineer.
Better, you think?
Better, definitely better. Why? Because he's an artist and I'm giving him a tool. But the other one, he's for sure, he's an artist, he has a creative mind, he has a lot of things, but this is not his place, this is not his area. So he will find a cool design, but not a correct design. This is the difference. So what I wanted to say that AI will never replace the artist. It will help the artist. This is my point.
Tool.
Yeah, it's just a tool. It's just a tool.
You know, do you think that's going to affect the way that editors actually work? Do you think
Definitely.
that's going to...
Definitely. I think AI will take the post-production workflow to a very fast and to a very fast and efficient workflow, much more than this. So let's say that if I have a project that I'm building it in 50 days, I think with AI, I can do it right now with just 2 weeks. So this is a time, this is efficient. So definitely the post-production, AI will help post-production in a lot of things. And it really started, by the way. Let's say the podcast that we are doing right now. Right now, we have around 30 minutes till now, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
27.
Yeah, okay, cool. So let's say 27 minutes. If there is an editor, will sit and edit this. He will sit 27 minutes to follow what we are saying and to do what we are saying and just to change cameras. Right now I need Mostafa's camera, right now I need Razan's camera. He will play around, right?
Yeah.
Right now you have a lot of AI plugins that they are doing this. So I'm saving time.
Crazy.
So I'm going to my client, and instead of telling him, actually this podcast will take from me 4 days working, I can tell him just one day working. I can say. So this means there's upgrade in the tool. So this mean AI definitely will help the post-production, and I'm seeing right now it's really started to help post-production in a lot of things.
But now we're talking more in the quantity, right? It's like that means you'll probably be able to have more output.
Yeah.
You have to do more projects in a
It will affect the quality. This is
What
your question.
about the quality?
Yeah, this is your question, right?
How would it affect the quality? Do you think does it make it better? Would it make it worse? Because sometimes, you know, when output increases, usually quality decreases.
Okay. I will.
We're just predicting here. There's
I will.
theory.
I will now wear the suit of the DP. Okay, DOP, and always the DOPs who's sitting with me in the color grading, especially. Do you know why DPs love the filming feel? Filming the film.
The actual film?
Yeah, the actual film feeling.
No.
Because it has the real scratches, and it has the real.
Default.
Yes, it has. It has something you can't explain it. It's matter of taste. It has the grainy, the real grainy texture, and all of this stuff. Okay, while he's shooting something in digital, and we are trying in post to give him this achievement.
Yeah,
He's not satisfied. However, we will do. He's not. If I bring it for him, the most important artist in the world to do this, he will never be satisfied. And it's a matter of taste. He's telling you always there's something missed. There's something is not good. And I think while I'm seeing right now in this time, I'm talking about this time, I'm not talking about the future. When I'm seeing AI stuff with 3D AI, I have also the feeling that there's something missed.
Yeah.
There's something not good. I'm not sure what will happen in the open source. So they will upgrade this. They will give us the real quality that we want to. I don't know. I don't know our softwares that we are used to work with, like 3D, like Blenders, like Cinema 4D. For sure, they have to upgrade themselves.
Yeah.
To catch the AI and to catch the work. So I'm not sure. But what I'm seeing right now, it's affecting the quality, let's say 10%, not more than this. But it's giving us a lot of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Cool. Very
Cool.
interesting look at the future.
Let's see the future. I think
Thank
we will
you.
have a podcast, me and you, after 10 years.
Yeah,
and
see what
we will-
happened.
Yeah, we will go through back like what happened. in
We'll
these years.
compare.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much for having
being
me.
here. This was awesome. Thank you very much for tuning in into the launch of Advanced Media's podcast with this special series. Coinciding with the return of CINETomorrow, Advanced Media is presenting 4 other episodes in this series. Make sure to check them out. I am Razan Takash. Thank you for joining us.